We are expecting our next guest. And I've been talking with her, and here she is. Yes, very good. Hello, Miss, I hope I'm spelling it right. Please, I'm apologizing in advance in case it's wrong. Miss Mahsa Doorfard. I
You
hope
pronounced
this is
it
right.
perfectly.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So, Miss Mahsa is one of the DLT talents of the Frankfurt School of Finance and Marketing. And today she will talk about the basics of staking and how it works. Having said that, I'm sure she will tell a little bit about herself. And Mahsa, you have the audience. You're welcome.
Great. Thank you so much. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen first. So, hello everyone. Welcome to 1000 Global Conference. My name is Mahsa Doorfard and I am the Sales and Marketing Manager of coinIX, which is an investment firm based in Hamburg, Germany. As an investor, we engage with the crypto market in many different ways, one of which is staking. And today, I'm here to share our expertise with you. In today's keynote, I will explain what is staking, I will say how it works, and I will talk a little about the positive aspects of it, as well as the risks that are associated with staking activities. And at the end, I will tell you a little bit about regulations of staking, basically regarding staking activities in Europe. If you want to learn about staking, there are two terms that you need to understand before getting into details. It will be consensus mechanisms and proof of stake. But what are consensus mechanisms? Consensus mechanisms maintain different aspects of the blockchain. They are blockchain security protocols or security models, and they create the blockchain framework. We can say that consensus mechanism is actually the process that a blockchain network uses to process payments, to confirm transactions, and to add new blocks to the chain. Blockchain networks are a type of decentralized ledger system designed to store data securely. Now, what consensus mechanisms do is that they will validate the new information and they will add these to these ledgers. This mechanism ensures that the data on the ledger is accurate and agreed upon by all the parties involved. There are different types of consensus mechanisms out there, but two of the most common ones are proof of work and proof of stake. When we talk about staking, we are dealing with proof of stake. Proof of work is a transaction validation mechanism based on solving a complex cryptography problem. When we say, for example, when somebody is mining Bitcoin or any other proof of work mechanism, it means they are participating in the proof of work consensus mechanism. The business model of proof of work depends on the capital that you use because you need to get hardware. The more money you spend on hardware, the more you can do mining. If you want to increase the hashing power, then you should add more hardware and consume more electricity. That's one of the main reasons why many people say that proof of stake is better. For example, Bitcoin. Bitcoin works under the proof of work protocol. Ethereum 1 used to work under the proof of work protocol, but after the merge, it started to work under proof of stake. Now, let's talk about the main topic of today, proof of stake. We consider proof of stake an improvement for the blockchain. Proof of stake is a method used by blockchains as their consensus mechanism to select honest participants and verify new blocks of data being added to the network, being added to the blockchain. In proof of stake networks, participants or stakers are called validators. They commit some capital to attest that the block is valid. So what will the stakers actually do? They will buy and lock away tokens. They will purchase tokens and they will lock them away. The stake, which is the money that they have been put into the system, ensures that the staker will act honestly for the good of the network, because he or she has invested in the system as well. And his tokens or her tokens are locked. So they have to act honestly to preserve their own stake. This is the basic of why we do staking and this kind of consensus mechanisms. There are some specific requirements for stakers. For example, if you are staking, the validators, you will basically be a validator. You should not go offline for a long time. And every blockchain has its own rules of validators, for validators. If you don't follow the rules, the stakes that you have will get slashed. We call it slashing, which means some of your money, some of the tokens, some of the things that you have invested for staking will be taken away. When you join a consensus mechanism network in the form of proof of stake, there will be an economic incentive for you. As I said, this is basically why most of the people do staking. And these incentive models have been planned to prevent bad actors from manipulating the data in blocks and to encourage the stakers to participate honestly in the validation process. The validators will profit by proposing a block or by attesting the validity of other proposed blocks. Many blockchains work under the proof of stake protocol, for example, Cardano, Solana, the Graph, Avalanche, Polkadot, and Polygon. They all use proof of stake mechanism. If you want to start staking and if you want to gather some information about the characteristics, rewards, risks of proof of stake networks, try to use publicly accessible websites which are operated by third parties. Their content is not controlled by proof of stake infrastructure providers, and it's usually more reliable. As I mentioned before, proof of stake is an improvement for the blockchain because it has many better features in comparison to proof of work. Proof of stake requires less energy. It doesn't need mining. You don't need any hardware. You don't need electricity. And it is faster. It has faster processing of transactions. For example, in Ethereum 1, when it used to be based on proof of work, it processed 15 transactions per second. But after the merge, when it switched to proof of work, it switched to 100,000 transactions per second. So this is so much impressive. Many proof of stake architectures have their formal upgrade to correct programming errors and to adopt innovation smoothly. For example, if there is a new regulation regarding staking or anything, the protocols will get updated automatically. Proof of stake systems are transparent. That's one of the good things about them. They all have an open and transparent source code and governance, and all the data is accessible through block explorers. Now, I talked a lot about proof of stake, but what is the staking? What is this staking that everybody are talking about? Staking means participating in a proof of stake consensus algorithm by holding and staking native cryptocurrencies of a blockchain network. If you want to find an equivalent of this activity in the traditional finance world to understand it better, it can be like putting your money in a high yield savings account in a normal bank, in a traditional bank. That's just a similarity. Anyone with a minimum required balance of a specific cryptocurrency can validate transactions and earn staking rewards. So there is no limit. Everybody can do that. Staking can be referred to as the act of locking crypto and funds in a wallet to participate in maintaining the operations of a proof of stake-based blockchain system. It helps the network achieve consensus, and you will receive rewards as well. So it's a 50-50 win situation for the participants of the network. Now, let me talk about different types of staking. There are many different ways using which you can engage with staking activities based on the amount of money that you have, the energy and time that you are willing to spend, and based on the knowledge that you have, how much expertise you have. They all depend on the type of staking services that you will use. On this slide, you can see many different types of staking. I'm going to explain each one of them briefly, and then you can decide which one is the best option for you. I'm going to start with StaaS, which is the abbreviation of Staking as a Service. Staking as a Service platforms manage all aspects of staking for you. So you literally don't have to do anything. They will do the node setup, they will do the maintenance, they will manage the infrastructure, they will ensure the security. You don't do anything. Staking as a service provider make it possible for people to stake their tokens without having the knowledge. For example, if your grandmother wants to start staking, it might be a little hard for her to understand all the technical stuff. She can use one of these StaaS service providers to do staking. So if you don't have time, if you don't have the resources, if you don't have the expertise, this type of a staking would be the best one for you. They usually have very friendly user interfaces, so it will be just like using an app, and it's so easy. Everybody can start doing it. And they usually try to find the highest interest rates for you. It sounds great that somebody else does everything for you, but it comes with its own risks. And that would be the counterparty risk. You are trusting someone else to do staking on your behalf. So that's basically why custodians usually operate their own validators alongside the delegated staking to prove their honest work. Here you can see the logo of some companies which provide StaaS services or staking as a service services, such as Everstake, Blockdaemon, and Stake Capital. The second type of staking that I'm going to talk about is staking pools. Staking pools are actually, they go under the category of StaaS or staking as a service. And in staking pools, multiple participants, they will combine their stakes and their rewards are distributed among the participants based on their contribution. There will be a pool operator, someone will be responsible to distribute the rewards accurately. There are many advantages in joining a stake pool. First of all, you will have increased chances of block validation. You will have more regular and predictable returns. And it allows individuals who may not have sufficient resources to stake independently to still participate in staking. Just like I said in staking as a service, the challenge in staking pools will be the counterparty risk again. If you're trying to choose a good staking pool, first make sure to check the validator's track record. Has it ever been penalized? Has it ever done any mistakes? Check if they have some policies to protect the delegating users. You will be the delegating users. Avoid very big staking pools because if one group in the ecosystem gets so much influence, it somehow gets away from decentralization. If you choose validators with lower voting power, you increase the decentralization of the whole ecosystem, and that helps to have a more healthy ecosystem. Here you can see the logo of some companies which offer staking pool activities. You can see Figment, Allnodes, Lido, and Rocket Pool. Regardless of the type of staking that you choose, whether it's a staking pool or a StaaS service provider, there are two types of service providers: custodial staking service providers or non-custodial staking providers. Custodian in word means somebody who holds your tokens. In custodial services, token holders will delegate their staking power and they will transfer the ownership of their tokens. You will not do anything. The third party will do everything on your behalf. And then the provider shares the rewards with the users after deducting some service fee for themselves. The good thing about custodial staking is that you don't need any technical knowledge. There are some disadvantages as well. Since you transfer the ownership of your token, there will be some risks involved. That's why most of the custodial staking service providers offer insurance or guaranteed returns. Another risk would be centralization. Some authority could control your data. For example, it was back in 2022 when BlockFi froze withdrawals because of a liquidity crisis, and it ultimately filed for bankruptcy. Another crisis example, if I remember correctly, would be the Kraken. It stopped staking program under an agreement with the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission of the United States, in February 2023. So these kind of crises can happen. Crypto exchanges and crypto custody providers can be considered as custodial staking services, for example, Binance or Kraken. On the other hand, we have non-custodial staking service providers. In these kind of services, token holders stake directly from their offline wallet. There will be no transfer of ownership. The third party will just provide the infrastructure, and they will have no power over your assets. You have your assets, you have the ownership, they will provide the infrastructure. In other words, token holders will outsource the operation of nodes infrastructure to independent providers. They delegate the right of staking for a fee. Non-custodial staking comes with many advantages. First of all, there will be more security. You will have full control of your coins, and no technical knowledge is needed because the infrastructure provider, the third party, will do everything for yourself. Platforms such as Chorus One and Figment Network offer non-custodial staking services. You can do non-custodial staking through offline wallets such as Ledger and Trezor as well. Now I'm going to talk about my favorite type of staking, which is technical staking or native staking. In native staking or technical staking, you as a staker have an active involvement in maintaining the network security on proof of stake blockchain networks. Validators or stakers are chosen to create new blocks and validate transactions. In technical staking, you can stake your tokens directly, and it's done through smart contracts. One of the disadvantages that it has is that there is the entry is very expensive. It might be a little hard to run your own node. For example, if you want to run your own Ethereum node, you will need 32 Ethereum. That's a lot of money, and not many people have that. But an advantage that this type of staking has is no counterparty risk. All the other staking types that I just introduced before this one, they all somehow had the counterparty risk, but this one is the only one that doesn't have it. In order to start technical staking, you should get the proper computing equipment, you need the software, and you should download a copy of the blockchain's entire transaction history. After you activate the validator nodes, your responsibility as the staker would be providing data storage, transaction processing, and adding new blocks to the blockchain. Next type of staking that I'm going to talk about is not actually staking, but the word staking is used for it, and it is called SINO. SINO is the abbreviation of staking in name only, and don't worry if you've never heard of it, because it is a very new term. It has been recently created due to the confusions that existed in the blockchain industry in regarding staking. And so let me tell you more about it. SINO activities refers to staking activities which somehow resembles staking, but they are not helping with the security of the network, and they have nothing to do with the consensus mechanisms. Activities like yield generation, DeFi staking, earn programs, and lending platforms, they all can be considered staking in name only activities. You will earn some profit, but you are not helping with the security of the network. The locked up deposits will be lent to margin traders, or some other will borrow it to do staking with it. And then the profits will be gathered and it will be shared with the depositors. Some platforms which offer yields by staking as a SINO activity would be Gemini, synthetics, Yearn Finance, and Compound. As I mentioned, there are so many different types of staking activities, and it depends on your needs. It depends on your knowledge, the amount of outsources that you have. You can decide which one can be better for you. But before you start doing it, go over Reddit and Twitter to see what other people say about that special staking pool or any other service provider that you want to work on. Just watch out for rug pulls, watch out for scammers, and be careful. And check if anyone has reported any kind of code vulnerability. Pay attention to the reputation or the age of the platform. The longer that they have been in the market, the higher the chances that they will be legit. And if somebody just offered you some extremely high yields and profits, it's a little fishy. You got to be careful. And another thing would be that always read the terms and conditions, because when you want to start staking or when you want to join a staking pool, they usually provide some terms and conditions, and many people don't read them and they just accept and go to the next page. But there might be some specific things mentioned there that is going to be very important. So always read them before you start staking. So I talked a lot about types of staking and what is a staking and so on. Now I want to talk a little about regulations in Europe. And we are currently at the beginning of the journey of the blockchain. Many of the regulations are not stable, or they change a lot, or the regulations in one country is different from another country. But there are some organizations such as the European Blockchain Association, which have been contributing to improve the regulatory situation regarding staking. Right now, I'm going to mention briefly the regulations in Europe which are somehow relevant to staking. The first one would be DAC. DAC is the abbreviation of Directive on Administrative Cooperation. It's about tax transparency rules for crypto asset transactions. In DAC 8, staking was mentioned for the first time in a legal act by European Union, and it refers to staking as a crypto asset service. Next one would be MiCA. MiCA is the abbreviation of Markets in Crypto Assets. It is the first regulatory framework for crypto assets in the world, which aims to protect the customers and minimize the risks for the users. Staking is actually not directly addressed in the text of MiCA, but some mechanisms have been mentioned in the text of MiCA, and they might be somehow related to staking activities. AML is the abbreviation of anti-money laundering, and it refers to the legal controls that require financial institutions to prevent, to detect, and to report money laundering activities. Providers of staking infrastructure have no obligation to apply for AML. Then we have IOSCO, which is the abbreviation of the International Organization of Securities and Commission. They have mentioned that grouping liquid staking has some similarities with derivatives. So the regulations which apply to derivatives might apply to staking as well. And when it comes to value-added tax, you don't need to pay value-added tax for staking rewards, because providers of staking infrastructure, they compete in a global scale. They're all around the world. And value-added tax is just for Europe. If they in Europe pay the value-added tax, it will not be fair for the people who are on the other side of the planet. So many people will stop doing staking, or they will just start immigrating. And however, if you are staking, you should pay the income tax. So now you might ask yourself, why would I even do staking? Let me tell you some of the positive aspects of staking that make you want to take part and participate in this activity. First of all, when you really believe in a blockchain project, when you do staking, you help with the price. It will have some positive effects on the price. So it is a really good activity that you can do. And it will help to avoid the 51% attack. 51% attack is when some people in the network, they have more control. They own more stakes in the ecosystem and the network. And the more people stake, the more we can avoid this situation. And I think we don't have much time. I'm probably out of time as well. But just to wrap it up, I can say that staking is something that will make you be a part of the blockchain industry. When you really care about a technology and you start staking, you are actually helping to get to the mass adoption faster, and you will have passive income. You will earn some passive money, which is going to be a lot of good investments for the long term. And however, there are some risks that you really need to be careful about them. Just do your own research, be careful about the scammers who are out there, and I wish you lots of luck by the staking that you're going to do in the future. So I'm done with my presentation. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the rest of the conference.
I learned plenty of new words. I mean, not plenty, I learned some really new words. Very interesting. One thing I would like to know, and I can assume that some of the audience want to know as well, how can they reach you? Is there a homepage or anything that you can give us some contact if people have questions regarding this, if they want to get in contact?
Yeah, indeed. I'm going to share my screen again. This is my information. So here you can see our website, you can see my email. My email is md@coinix.capital. And feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, or if you just type my email and my name on LinkedIn, Mahsa Doorfard, you will have access to my LinkedIn. You can send me a connection request, you can talk to me, and you can send me an email, and you even have our phone number here, you can call. And yeah, so we are open to help anyone who has any questions regarding staking or any other thing related to crypto and blockchain.
Perfect. Just short, what is your company doing?
My company is an investment firm based in Hamburg, Germany. What we do is that we invest in blockchain-based companies, and we are focused on infrastructure. And the stocks of our company are listed in the stock exchanges. So our users, our customers will buy the shares of our company, and we will invest in the blockchain companies. And that's how people can engage with the blockchain technology, with blockchain industry indirectly. For example, if my grandmother wants to start staking, if my grandmother wants to start investing in the blockchain technology and she doesn't know anything about it, she can just buy the shares of our company, and our investment team will try to find new investments. They will try to find promising projects, so they don't have to worry about anything.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Then again, thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot for this beautiful presentation. I wish you the best and hope to see you soon next time.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Bye. Bye-bye.